Hi, my name is Ezekiel Rafanan, and I am a 10th grade student at Saipan Southern High School. I am an online course student for environmental science class under Miss Annette Radevega. The reason why I chose this internship is because I want to have an in-depth knowledge about how climate change affects the environment. Also, I want to experience what the NOAA offers to high school students. Today, I am going to present to you 3 events that cause climate change. The first event is volcanic eruptions. When volcanoes erupt, they emit a mixture of gases and particles into the air. Some substances, such as ash and sulfur dioxide, cool the global temperature. They reflect the sun's rays away from the earth. The cooling influence is particularly marked in the case of large eruptions able to blast sun-blocking particles all the way up to the atmosphere. So in this picture, this describes how a volcano erupts. So the magma is the lava when it comes out of the volcano during an eruption. And the smoke is the eruption cloud, and inside the eruption cloud are the particles such as ash and sulfur dioxide. An example is the 1991 Mount Pinatubo eruption in the Philippines. When Mount Pinatubo erupted in the Philippines on June 15, an estimated 20 million tons of sulfur dioxide and ash particles blasted more than 12 miles, or 20 kilometers high into the atmosphere. The eruption caused widespread destruction and loss of life. Not only that, it caused a significant dip in global temperatures 1 or 2 years later by 0.5 degrees Celsius, or 32.9 degrees Fahrenheit. So, this picture is taken from back in 1991. This is the picture when Mount Pinatubo erupted, and you can see the smoke here. It contains the particles such as ash and sulfur dioxide, and this cloud looks like an atomic bomb that has exploded. There are many more volcanic eruptions to come. However, this will take forever to observe how volcanic eruptions can completely change the Earth's climate. The second event is solar output. The sun is the main source of the energy that causes the atmosphere to move, thus controlling weather and climate. Any change in the energy or output from the sun received at the Earth's surface will therefore affect the climate. Solar output has played a role in past climate changes. However, solar output does not contribute to today's climate change, which is global warming. This is because, according to a study, the average amount of energy coming from the sun either remained constant or increased slightly since 1750. Scientists concluded that if the warming were caused by the sun's output, then scientists would expect to see warmer temperatures in all atmospheric layers. However, they found that not all layers are warmer than each other. In addition, upper layers of the atmosphere, from mesosphere to exosphere, are cooler than the lower layers, which are troposphere and stratosphere. So this picture describes how solar radiation affects the Earth. As you can see here, solar radiation comes directly from the sun. As solar radiation reaches the Earth's atmosphere, it is absorbed by the surface, by water vapor, dust, and other particles, and by the clouds. In the clouds, some solar radiation is reflected back into outer space. Variation in solar output is not the main cause of today's climate change. The main cause of today's climate change are the greenhouse gases, or called the greenhouse effect. As you can see here, this picture describes how the greenhouse effect works. So the solar radiation comes directly from the sun. As it reaches towards the Earth's atmosphere, greenhouse gases absorb the usual amount of solar radiation so that it can make the global temperature warm and inhabitable. Due to the rising levels of greenhouse gases, they absorb too much solar radiation and reflect little to the outer space, therefore making the Earth's global temperature warmer than it should. Like volcanic eruptions, observing solar output to cause some sort of climate change will take forever as the sun is not yet depleted of solar energy. This will take forever because it will take millions of years until the sun dies. Finally, the third event is change in Earth's axis. The tilt of the Earth related to its revolution around the sun is what causes seasons. During a cycle of about 41,000 years, the tilt of the axis changes between 21.5 to 24.5 degrees. 41,000 years later, the tilt of the Earth will be at 21.5 degrees, and for another 41,000 years, it will be at 24.5 degrees. The northern hemisphere, pointing toward the sun, is in summer season, while the southern hemisphere is in winter. The CNMI is contributing to climate change because in the CNMI we have volcanoes. We have the Sarigan or Sarigon, the Anatahan, and the Pagan volcano. When they erupt, these volcanoes spit out cooling substances that block out sun's rays, therefore the weather will be cold and raining with ash. If they were to erupt like Mount Pinatubo back in 1991 in the Philippines, these volcanoes would reduce the global temperature by about 1.5 degrees Celsius or 34.7 degrees Fahrenheit. These are my three events that cause climate change. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and that you understood how these three events contribute to climate change.